Hello, Derek Bergener here. It is November 8th, 2017, and this is my trade recap for TTWO and GGP, both of which I traded, and after you see this you will know I need psychological help. And then also CBM, I didn't trade it, for which I also need psychological help. So anyway, let's see. Let's start with CBM. All right, in sort of the order of how I found each one. Put it on my watch list. I was looking for big gainers the night before. CBM was up huge on what was it? Earnings breakout, right? But look at this major resistance on the 50 or on the daily chart, right at the $50 level, and it ran up really strong, right almost to 50, and I'm like, this is like a really good candidate. And so I wrote the night before, major resistance at 50, big hole $1.50, never held a spike in the past. Oh, that was right. There was other thing I saw, like this spike here and this spike here, and well, there were those two big spikes. It was one hit wonder, never held a spike. So I'm like, okay, here's another spike, likely to not hold. Even though it was earnings breakout, yeah, it did its thing on the earnings breakout, but now it's coming into this major. So that was a big thing, big one on my watch list. I never traded it. I got sucked into, guess what, a gapper in the morning based on, let's see, here we go. Here's trade ideas, gap scan. I have some custom columns organized here, which you might recognize. TTWO, right here. A lot of this other stuff is junk. Just I don't filter anything on the gap scan. Maybe I should set at least a $1 filter. But anyway, this one caught my eye. $120 stock, big volume, and this minus 25 that just had earnings. And so I'm like, okay, cool, let's go look at that. So TTWO in the morning, stellar. I looked it up. Stellar earnings. You know, what was the reason for the gap? Stellar earnings. And look at this daily chart, just on a tear. And the gap, like, okay, so you might say the gap was from, you know, there up to this 120 region. Oh, let's see, am I giving it away here? What the heck's going on here? Oh, come on. Cooperate. I had this all set up just right. Okay. Here's pre-market. Yeah, so that's all we know at this point. It was around 9:15 when I did my gap scan. You know, somewhere around this price level. So it already like topped over the 120 to the 120.50. So I drew this 120 line. Okay, very significant level. And it has had a big gap before and ran. So, you know, it had a gap before and ran. So, you know, it's a good gap again and run. So this is a long, potential long setup. So, what did I do? Oh, what was the other one? Oh, GGP. Okay, let's look at GGP. I found this the night before. This thing spiked up to this. I just drew the top right into the 200 SMA. It spiked on a buyout rumor, and I'm like, man, that's kind of weak. That seems like a very good short opportunity. And that was also one of my top on top watch list. I should just play what I find the night before instead of chasing gappers. But I chased a gapper. TTWO. So, but man, it looked good. Breaks out into open space, but, you know, I guess these has a history of gapping and, you know, going up. So, anyway. We will go then to my Snagit here, where I have already prepared My TTWO. No, here's my TTWO chart for trading in the morning. This is where you'll see that I need my psychological help. Here's my trade starting. Lost 115, lost 55, lost 44, lost 49. All right. So, what do you do with me? Here's high in this slightly over 120 area. Now, here's one thing I didn't fully grasp, okay? And now I see it in hindsight. This right here, see, I have this white thing covering up the actual price action after the market opened. See the volume spike right there at 9:30? The pre-market ramped up to this previous high. I don't think I paid any attention to that. I don't think I even realized that until I looked at it after the fact. And that's huge to miss that. So from that, I should be looking for a short, like to get in as high, because that's a double top in pre-market. But anyway, first candle opens, and I'm thinking, this is an up chart on the daily. Stellar earnings. It was stellar. Beat all expectations in all kinds of categories. And so this should go up. So I'm looking for a pullback in the morning to go long. And I had this at the time. I had the these lines drawn here, right? And I'm like, well, this was my yeah. I want to move. I'm going to stretch that one over here. So I didn't really grab that. I was a little late on the draw. This was moving so fast. I'm like, okay, just take the trade. It's coming down to the low of the pre-market, and I'm thinking this thing is going to break to the upside. And so I got in right here, long. And, well, this wild-ass candle, that was pretty much a bad sign. I think got rejected pretty hard. Next candle, I know I'm out. Can you see my, what in the world? Oh, I gave it away. What? Oh, that sucks. Alright, well anyway, you all know what happened. But, oh, I know, since this item was selected and then I checked the circle, it changed it to a circle. That's what happened. Alright, so anyway, I want to pick this. There's my entry, long. Hope you saw that. There's my get out. Like, I should have never let it go that far against me. That was lost 115. What do I have, 100 shares? Alright, so I'm determined to make something out of this, right? Now let me see if I can remember what my thinking was. This is, let's see. Oh, okay. Well, we've got all right. Hopefully, I was thinking, okay, a lower high right here. Yeah, did I get that right this time? Yeah. Switch to lines here. A lower high, right? And let's see what I do. Oh, I went long. Oh, well, actually, look, I turned out to be kind of right. Yeah, because I'm like, my mind flip-flopped so many freaking times, okay? So I was like, okay, I didn't catch the bottom right there, but there's the bottom right there. I mean, there's no, I was like, well, there's nothing over here in pre-market really, but I mean, and there's no, maybe it's slightly near the 117, I don't know. But I thought, okay, well, I blew that entry. I should have been a little more patient. And had I gotten long here, on us, you know, been a little more patient and ramped up to 120, you know, that's 2.5 points. No, that's 3 points. 117.4, 118.4. That would have been 3 points. I was damn near right. And I wasn't, though. So goes up, and then I'm like, okay, well, this is, I wasn't thinking lower high at the I'm thinking this is a flag right here. It's above VWAP, and I waited patiently to try to get in at the low of the range of this flag. A lot of times I'll wait until the breakout and get long on the breakout, and I actually was very happy with this entry right here. I hope you can see that right there, that little green up arrow. I was like, yes! It's at the low of the flag range, and then bam, instant resolution. I'm like, yes! This thing is going up! So what I do? I held on. Even though this is what I totally missed on the pre-market, this double top there, and this is a triple top. But I'm like, double tops don't always mean double tops. They can go. And this was stellar earnings. So this was supposed to be the pullback in the morning sell-off, all right? And then we make a flag. We're holding VWAP. I go long. I'm expecting this thing to, you know, make a little bear flag coming back down right here and catch the 9 EMA and keep going. So I held. Can you blame me for holding a little bit? I'm like, I want to catch a runner. Look at that! Oh my God! Ah! That's, so, you know, I got out. So there was my $55 loss right there. Oh, this is just crazy. So what happened? I'm like, is this up or is this down? Like, I don't think I knew. Like, I'm sure I didn't know. I have no idea. Comes all the way back down to the bottom of the range. So now we kind of got this range. And bam, dumps out the bottom. This is just stupidity. So I'm like, okay, this thing is going down. It broke, I don't know, broke the bottom there, right? And so I kind of waited patiently. It came down, and I tried my best to catch, you know, this spike up to, you know, I'm looking at this level right here. I'm looking at the bottom of this, right? And I didn't catch the top, you know, there was some slippage here. I mean, this thing's moving like crazy. And I'm like, okay, cool. I nailed another really good, you know, up near the top of, on the downside. And what did it do? And I'm like, well, this is forming a bolts to the upside again. And I don't know. I'm just like so freaking disgusted. So I hope you saw that little triangle right there, and there was where I covered. And so that was my next $44 loss. I should have just quit. So now I'm like, okay, well, maybe this is just going to have bigger range on its, you know, on its like higher lows or lower highs, right? So right there, you know, this is run up strong, or not run up strong, run up a long way. It's overextended up into VWAP there, and there's the VWAP rejection. I'm going short. And no, blew right through it, got out. This is insanity. Oh, did it again. Turn it back to white. There we go. Learn how to run that thing. There. Shorted there. This is just total freaking insanity. Lost another $49, and I'm like, Just shoot me. So I let it alone. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Oh my God. Okay, so here I remember now. Okay, I'm like, all right, here, double top. I'm like, oh, there's a double top right there. This thing is definitely going down. So I got short right there. Not the greatest, but that's what I did. Okay, double top right there. And I almost got stopped out again, but it didn't, and it went down. I'm like, oh, woo, okay. Now what's going to happen? So now this thing just chopped along, but I stayed in. Okay, I just stayed in. I'm like, okay, I'm not getting stopped out. All right. So let's see. I have another chart here for continuation. Yeah. All right. So there's where we left off. There was my last, and then cover there, and then I said I got right there. I got back in right here. Short. Oh, come on. Got back in short right here because of, if you remember, I said I'm seeing a double top right here. And almost stopped me out, and then down, and then just chopping sideways. And I'm like, okay, I'm not getting stopped out. Hang on, and I'm like, all this while as I'm like drawing my lines on here. Okay, well there's, there's, all right, well we're just chopping sideways, and I had another line drawn here, and I had another line drawn there, and I'm like, we're below VWAP, and it's looking a little weak. And sure enough, it broke finally. And then I'm like, okay, I'm watching the 1 minute. I'm like, okay, this is a bear flag pulling up to the 9 EMA. Don't panic. No reason to sell. Boom. Cool. All right, now we got a little trend going on. All right, and then we have another bear flag pulling up to 9 EMA. You see that right there? Boom. Perfect. And then it drops back out again. But it didn't drop anymore. And I'm like, that's it. That's probably it. And it kind of drops a little bit. And I'm like, no, this ain't, if there's momentum, this is going to just keep going down. And it didn't. So I was ready to cover, and there, boom, on that little pop, I covered right there. So you see, I can do some things right, but oh my God, this mess over here at the beginning. So that was the last, that was this trade from, let's see, there to there. That was this last one I had right there, where I made 114. So on the day, TTWO, but I was still down like what, 150 bucks. Oh, we got 18 minutes. Damn. Hopefully this is all worth it. Taking too long. Oh, and then then at the time I hadn't traded CBM, which was on my list. Like, oh my God! But I did a side-by-side comparison of the volatility of TTWO compared to the volatility of CBM. CBM, one of my top watches, right, for a short, remember, it popped up into that 50 and yesterday, and I'm like, this is going to fail. And sure enough, look at from, let's call it 49.50 to 45.50. That's $4. Here, 120.50 to 116.50. That's $4. Look at this insane volatility compared to CBM. So this is another thing. I gotta look back through TTWO and see if this has a history of like crazy volatility like this. And if it does, man, this is like on my do not trade list, and I'll be watching CBM. but it doesn't. CBM doesn't normally range this much, but it did. Jeez. Okay, that's getting like a pretty long video right there. CBM, oh, GGP. I got to go over this one because I did trade this. Okay, this was my spike on buyout rumor. And I should have just been watching this from the beginning. Where's my snag? I got it in here. Yeah, here's the GGP. We'll go minute by minute, get it over pretty quick. I wasn't watching this because I was so entangled in TTWO. But minute by minute, it was, I don't know, it really wasn't dumping out, but it made this double top. And Mo actually, he alerted this in chat. He's like, GGP double top. I'm like, oh, I wasn't even paying attention. Maybe I should. And then I'm like, let me, I wanted some kind of confirmation that it was going to fail. I was trying to be a little more patient now. And it made this like drop down and then pop back up again. And I'm like, I said, okay, let me be patient and try to get in an entry, right at this, as close up to the EMA as I can. And that's where I got in, and I did okay with that, and it dropped out. The only reason I did it was because of this double top that already occurred right here. I'm like, okay, this is important, and it failed and went below VWAP, and then it popped up, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to get short on that pop up, and then it dropped down, and now here again, this was like a bear flag pulling up into the 9 EMA, so nothing to worry about. Well, maybe a little worry about. And I was like, oh, I'm going to just give this a little more time. Just give it a little more time. And okay, boom, it dropped out some more. And then I'm like, okay, so this is another flag right here. And should drop out, but if it doesn't clear the bottom of that flag, then we could be at the bottom. And look, it's flat. It flattened out. So I was on my guard for, looking for a little pop here. And if it popped a little bit, I was going to get out. Drop down a little more. Drop down a little more. But then these drops are getting less and less, and then they're going sideways. And so I'm still wary of. And then boom. Had a little pop right there, broke this trend right there, and I exited right there. Hopefully you see that little, and sure enough, that was the end of that. So, I did good on that, 140 bucks on, but I took 400 shares because of my risk. I was like, no, this was like low volatility, so I could take more shares. Was it 10? I probably could have taken more shares. What was my risk? Maybe 20 cents? No, that's about right for 20 cents. $50 divided by 0.2, 250 shares? No, 1550 divided by 0.15. I don't know. I forget where I decided my risk was. Maybe at VWAP. And I came up with 400 shares, $50 risk. But anyway, that is my trade. Did I go over the other one? Oh, there was one more. But anyway, I think I covered it all. Oh, no. Where was CBM? Yeah, this was freaking perfect. Really quick, done. Look what it just dumped out. Exactly per my plan. And this would have been if you missed it, this gave a couple of good entries. Well, there's the pop at the beginning right there. There's the entry that you would have wanted, and if you missed it, there's another entry right here. And then ride it down all day. God. All right, anyway. It's a process. I'm learning. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Thanks. Bye.